Hello, priests of the internet. I'm Jamie. Let's hang out and watch episode 14 of Free Run, Privilege of the Young. So that is an interesting title because the first thing that came to mind was youth is wasted on the young, which is kind of an obvious title. Of course, youth, young, they go together. But I think the main meaning of that is energy, vitality. When you're younger, you feel invulnerable in a lot of ways, and there's so many possibilities ahead of you. But I think the main thing that kind of doesn't work with this is like it's the privilege of the young. And I guess normally when we think of privilege, I almost kind of attribute it to it's a privilege to get older because, like, it's a privilege to get wrinkles. It's a privilege to gain weight. Like, it just goes to show that you were growing, you were living, and it is a privilege to get older because not everyone can. So I'm very curious on the flip side there, how they're going to denote this title. We also had in the last episode an aversion to one's own kind, which I don't think was truly answered in that episode, but I could be wrong and hopefully people would have let me know. But I couldn't figure it out, and maybe that will come up later. The show is really good at answering questions, I'd say, whether it's in the episode itself or maybe a little bit later down the line, so we'll find out. I am excited to see our new dynamic now that we have 4 of us in a party. I was about to say we have our counterparts. We have a mage, we have a warrior, we have a priest. But then I realized isn't Fern a mage? And then I was thinking, well, then what was Himmel? So I just actually looked it up, and he was supposedly a knight, but there's also no, set answer. I only briefly looked, but it doesn't seem like there was a lot of concrete, this is what he is, definitive answers there. So, interesting. But yes, I'm excited to meet, I think it's Zine? At least when I listened to the subtitle or to the English dub, that's what it sounded like. I was going to go with Sign, then I was going to go with Scene because it reminded me of a character in Ori in the Blind Forest. But then I think when I listened to it, it sounded like Zine with a little bit of a Z kind of sound. So that's what we're going to go with. Fit check, we're going back to the good old greenie, if anyone's watched The Maze Runner. There we go. Just doing the usual. We got our curlies in for the curly hair. I finally figured out a way to make my hair look good with only using a little bit of product and a hairdryer and a diffuser. So yay for being however old I am and figuring that out finally. So this video is for commentary and discussion purposes. All rights belong to the original creators, so please support the official release. And if you'd like to watch the full-length reactions, they are up on Patreon. Again, usually the same day, though a little bit later, or could be next day if things are, behind for some reason. But I'm trying to get better at my consistency, and we're better at getting consistent on YouTube. So hey, let's keep that train going and let's get it on more tracks so we can be consistent everywhere. I also did my first official stream back on Sunday, and I'm going to be doing every Friday and then alternating Thursday evenings and Sundays. And I got to figure out what I'm going to play specifically, whether it's going to be just more fun games or if I'm going to do more story-based things. But if it's story-based, I kind of like to really give it my all, attention. So I don't know. I will debate on that and we will see. Also, Crunchyroll has decided to up their subscriptions and make a few other kind of dumb decisions. So luckily we had switched to Netflix last time because Crunchyroll was down. I think we're just going to keep that gravy train going and we're just going to stay on Netflix. I do prefer the formatting on Crunchyroll for how they were doing the subtitles and everything, but I want to put my money where I think it's better served. And even though I don't love Netflix either in a lot of ways, I already have that subscription and I watch a few other things on there, so that's the one that's staying. So that is why it's gonna stay on Netflix, why it's gonna look different than what it did before, and why we're gonna be continuing with that moving forward for now. But it is time, grab a snack, get settled in, and let's watch episode 14 of Free Run. Still 29. Rad. We always love to shop.
ここは賑やかな街ですね。酒場も多いし。
Of course.
で一緒に買い物に行こ
う。She's definitely opened up more.
フリーレン、行こうぜ。
Can probably appreciate things more, those smaller things, or more of like the little things, I guess is what I meant. I just love the colors there. Nope, I missed whoever was looking through the window, and also that statue. But we've met a lot of the people in the intro now, so I'm happy about that. I did find it ironic that I had pointed out that we didn't have anyone show up there, and so of course Kraft isn't going to join us. Nobody is. But turns out, Zine was the one. He's so sensitive. Oh my gosh. I mean, love and hate, thin line. I'm kidding. I'm curious about that myself. Aww. Expectations. Don't generalize your sex. I wonder if by the end he'll stop smoking. I mean, that's good. Youth. Privilege of youth. Maybe. I think that would be best. Once you cool down, communication is always best. It's tough when you have such strong feelings when you're younger. The bracelet. You both can be strong. You can do this, Fern. You are amazing. You know you're amazing. You can do this. That is cute. You didn't have to bring that up. Nice little details of nervousness. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. Yeah. But once they know, they care. Yeah. I agree. Sometimes you just gotta let go a little bit. And he's a good kid. Thank you. We're not mind readers. Okay, they're both warming up. We like it. But it's true. As I've been saying this whole time, you have to communicate as best you can. And without as much tone as you can. I know it can be tricky. I'm guilty too. He was looking at the statue. Interesting. Tense.
本当は一緒に選びに行き、
Hmm.
俺フェルンが好きなものがわからなかったから。でも
Good that he's explaining his perspective,
言い出せなかったんだ。
though he was making assumptions, but I get it.
ませんでした。私の方こそ言い過ぎました。
We love it.
いいって。
Nice swelling of music. Mm.
ませんでした。
Sometimes it's just the pattern, but
行こうぜ。
if you both can handle it, that conflict will lessen little by little, and it'll be more of like a fun poking rather than a deep-seated cut.
盗み見かよ。いい趣味だな、フリーレン。
Then what were you doing up here?
無事に仲直りできたみたいだな。
I like how much they care.
人との距離感が分かるようになると衝突することすら避けるようになる。
Yeah, exactly.
ああいうのは若者の特権だな。
There you go.
フリーレン、ガキの世話は大変そうだ。
Hmm.
人
I
との距
mean,
離感って何？
ガキ3人だったか。
I feel like she's probably taking on more responsibility than she had before.
フェルンはハイターに育てられたからね。
Mm.
偉大じゃないよ。酒飲みでよく二日酔いになっていた。
Ugh. Don't show it.
ただの生臭坊主だったよ。
Mm-hmm.
ザインはそれを上回る。
Seems to be a trend in the things I watch.
俺の記憶にあるハイター様は優しくて頼りがいのあるじいさんだった。
Well, of course. Different time period and different audience.
だって変わったよね。大人っぽくなった。
私の心は子供の頃からほとんど変わっていません。
Yeah.
には心の支えになる大人の存在が必要ですから。
It's true.
フェルンは努力家です。たくさん褒めて導いてあげないと。
It's probably good that you were a bit more silly, though, too.
誰が褒めてくれるの？
Mm.
あ、こっちでは私が褒めるよ。
That is kind.
人間である私の気持ちはわからないでしょう。
There is that difference in perspective. Simple enough. We all just want to feel safe and attended to. Hmm. So pretty.
何の真似だ、フリーレン。
Hmm. A little smile there.
これがお姉さんからだったら最高。
Yay.
ならよかった。
Aww.
私ほどのお姉さんはなかなかいないよ。
That's very pretty. That's cute. They have matching bands.
この先の村の商人でして、代々装飾品店を営んでおります。
Ooh.
商売上手だね。
Yeah.
私はあまり興味はないけど、フェルンはそういうの好きだったよね。
That's what I was thinking.
ブレスレット新しく買ったの？
You guys weren't spying well enough, I guess.
これは可愛い衣装だね。
It really is. Oh.
どこにあったかな。
In your chest of many objects. Hello, friend. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I remember him giving the ring before, or seeing the ring before.
鳥型の魔物って狡猾でまり。
Okay. That poor horse.
とりあえず魔物は通すとして、
Well,
ちゃくらいなら浮か
glad
した
you
り
got
でき
back
んだ
in
ろ。
here.
シュタルク、
That's what I was wondering.
空飛ぶ馬車って見たことある？
今乗ってるよ。
Not one with magic.
それまで空は魔族と魔物の独壇場だったんだ。
Interesting.
使っている飛行魔法は 魔族の魔法術式をそのまま転用した
Hmm.
もので、
小難しいことはいいか
I
ら。
mean, some of us might be.
原理がわからないまま使ってい
I
るか
think you're gonna
ら
have to
応
wait till you get to the nest, probably.
用より大きなものはわずかな時間しか飛ばせない。
Hmm.
脱出するしかないね。
Or that. Okay.
入れて飛ぶから、フェルンはザインをお願い。わかりました。
And are you gonna leave Stark to defeat the demon?
シュタルクは飛び降りて、
何言ってんのこの人。
I mean, you are able to fall. We've seen this before.
戦士ならこのくらいの高さで死ぬ。
Yeah, when you were battling the dragon.
は自由落下程度ならどんな高さでも無傷だったよ。
That was fun. We literally saw you battling the dragon.
ドン引きしている時点でおかしいのはアイゼン様だと思います。
That is 2 points at least.
僕を殺しきれないと私たちはごちゃ混ぜのミンチになっちゃうから。
Hmm. Just being realistic.
こいつ獲物を地面に叩きつけて狩りをするタイプの魔物だぜ。
Oh, okay. Hello. Goodbye. The sign was pretty chill there. Let's see. Well, that's good for the horse. But the poor carriage.
何がだよ。どういう計画？
Mm,
馬は軽傷だった。治療も
it's pretty chill.
だが馬車はダメだな。修理が必要だ。
Yeah.
むしろ感謝しています。私一人では死んでいましたから。
Yeah.
タクは馬車の修理だな。
Hmm. I was hoping that, yeah, I was like, well, if they tried some of the other plans, would you have just left all your stuff behind?
どこ行っちゃったんだ。
The ring, yeah.
暖かくなってきたな。
そろそろ衣替えですかね。
Oh, that'd be nice.
結局シュタルクが選んだのか。
私が好きに選んでほしいと言ったので。
Hmm.
大変だったなシュタルク。一番苦労するパターンだ。
What is her type?
これはいけるのか。顔色を伺いながらの3。心地がしなかった。
かわいそうにな。
I mean, you
全
could
部
just
聞こえてる。
communicate more.
気に入ってもらえたからよかったよ。
There you go. Hit that sweet spot.
やるじゃねえかシュタルク。お前はもっとヘタレかと思っていたぜ。あの衣装は鏡レンゲ。花言葉は苦音の愛情だ。
Oh, I wonder if that's true.
この地方じゃ、あれは恋人に贈るものだぜ。
Did you hear that part?
花言葉なんて知っていると思うか。
そうですよね。バカですもんね。
Hmm. As a
自分だっ
deflection?
て知らなかったくせに。
何か言いましたか？
I mean, it's true. You didn't know unless you
あ
did.
の、買い直しましょうか。
No.
様が一生懸命選んで私にくれたものです。何ですか？
Ay, ay, ay. His little side sly smile. I still haven't downloaded the soundtrack for this. But I will after I finish this first season. Just go out walking and hearing it. Ow. We do love us a good stew. Is she looking for the ring? Hope she finds it. Good as new. Has she been going all day?
毎晩抜け出していますよね。何を探しているんですか？
今夜見つからなかったら諦めるよ。
Mm-mm. Not something so precious to you.
これと同じ鏡レンゲの衣装の指輪だったんですよね。
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
そう、知らなかった。どうでもいい。
Hmm.
エルもそんな花言葉知らなかったと思うよ。
それでも
There can be a different type of love.
みんなで一緒に探しましょう。
And I think it's something that you'll want to hold on to.
隠した装飾品を探す魔法
Oh. Gosh, we love magic.
だ魔法の一つです。
See, this is why we communicate and share. Could have been a lot simpler. Is it going to be like in Minecraft, throwing... I guess it's a little different, but the ender eye. Such great animation.
だからね、好きなものを選んでくれ。
魔法店の方が嬉しいんだけど。どうしたの？
It's perfect. He knew. We love that. That's really cool. I knew it. Always the suave character without meaning to be. I am curious what their intentions were with one another. If things were ever spoken or not.
そうかもね。
She doesn't give a lot of direct answers.
が鏡レンゲのブレスレットしてるの？
シュタレク様がバカだからです。
ひどい。
Cute. I really loved that episode. It was just like a pretty chill episode. It was focused on Fern and Stark in a lot of ways. Of course, there was the undertones, as always, with Frieren and Himmel. And we got to know Zine a little bit better. So I always love that, and had to do a lot with psychology and humanity in a way, but just in a more simple form. I understand why Fern had the initial reaction that she did when Stark hadn't remembered, I guess, to get her a present, because she had really wanted to get him one and put a lot of effort into making sure he would actually get one, because he was like, no, it's okay, I never got one beforehand. But she cares about him, and so she wants to show that through different ways, one of them being through gift giving. That is one of the 5 love languages, after all. But I think we have certain expectations for ourselves, and technically for others around us, based on our own past and the things we value. But we have to remember, other people grew up with different pasts themselves, with their own histories, and so they may not share the same values, they don't function the same ways, and so we can't fault them unless they know better, and they may not know better until we inform them. We do need to inform people of things like our expectations, and usually when our expectations aren't met, that's actually when we tend to have the greater emotional reaction. And so I get why she reacted that way. Stark understandably, felt hurt by it, because he is good intentioned and he didn't know better, but he's also very sensitive, which isn't a bad thing, but it's really funny to always hear him whining and complaining. But in that case, it was appropriate and made sense. I'm really glad that Frieren and Zine both had spoken to Fern, saying, you should probably go talk to him, and they both are rooting for them, which is very cute. And I find it interesting because I'm pretty sure Frieren said, I might, say the same thing, or maybe I'm happy to have it back or something. It's lots of mights, maybes, not a lot of concrete answers. So I'm wondering if that's just a personality quirk or has more significance. We'll have to see. I think the discussion between Zine and Fern was really nice when he was picking out the little pouch I loved the design and it did fit Fern, but also I think he had said, actually, I'm going to take a step back. I think when Fern was like, no, you choose, I think a lot of the time people really want, if not all the time, people really want to give people the chance to choose things for them, like gifts, because we want to feel understood and we want to see if people really truly understand what we like and who we are, and that would be reflected in the gift that they give. And so if they get a really good gift, you know, that makes us happy, that we feel like reflects us, or, you know, something we value, etc., like that feels really good. We all want to feel understood and accepted, essentially, in that sense. So when she had said, no, you choose, Sign, very smart man that he is, you know, he picked up on it that no, she actually liked the initial thing. Otherwise, she would hopefully have said something differently or would have had a different reaction. I've already covered this before as well, but it's always interesting going back to expectations in some ways, where we hear stories about other people, or maybe we just, to put it in our terms, like we see people on social media or whatever, and we think, oh, they must have such an amazing life, they barely have any flaws, you know, they must be so happy, all this different stuff, but really we don't know what's going on inside their heads, and or their relationships or their home life or anything like that. And so we do have to look for the blessings and gratitude and things around us, but also remember that other people are flawed and have their own quirks, and, you know, they have their own circumstances, and no one's life is perfect. Even, you know, the most wealthy people in the world, well, not the most wealthy, I could go on a whole thing about that, but a lot of people that have a lot of wealth, this isn't a major spoiler, I don't think, but just for the first season of Squid Game, because I've only seen the first season, you know, they talk about people that don't have almost anything versus those that have a lot, you know, they're both unhappy. Now, I don't remember the reasoning in the show, for if that statement is valid, but the statement in itself is valid for different reasons, and it's something you can go really in depth about. Of course, yes, we would all rather be on that wealthy end of the spectrum for safety and stability and stuff, but nobody's life is all that perfect, unless maybe you do have that happy moderation that I've talked about before. But some people really want the extremes, and some people can live with the extremes, you know, high risk, high reward sort of things rather than stability. But kind of getting off track, I think it was interesting just to see that Zine had been like, oh, but Hyder, this amazing person, when they both had their strengths and they both had, as I said, their quirks, we'll put it. And I think that's something I wish everyone could acknowledge and see, is that we all have value as human beings. I especially think that's true if we try to put something into the world in some way. But we all deserve to be here, and we all have value just for being alive. And so just the fact that people are like, you know, I'm nothing in comparison because I'm not doing XYZ or stuff, is like, you're a human. You're just supposed to be living your life and hopefully doing something if you can for the world, but really it's just you're alive, and that's kind of good enough. There's a lot more reflecting I would like to do on that topic as well, because I do like when people put forward things into the universe, into the world. But really, in essence, if you are just alive, you are meant to be here, and even if it's not meant to be, you are here, and that is good enough. Yes, there's more nuance than that. Nothing's ever so concrete of a statement, but, you know, I think there's something to it where I just wish people could realize that they're amazing, and that we shouldn't compare so much. In essence, that's the bottom line that I wanted to get at. The last point I'll make, even though I probably will think of a billion different thoughts while I'm doing the watch back, is we all want to, and I kind of said in the episode, but we all want and have an inner kid that wants to be taken care of. You know, I see those videos of like men getting their hair cut, and then the guy or the person, the hairdresser, brings out a bin full of lollipops and then they get a big smile, or the videos where people are like walking and, you know, grab the hand and then twirl the person even though they don't know them. It's like just those little moments where it's like life doesn't have to be so doom and gloom and monotonous, and there's still like this inner fun that we can have. And so you have to think about, what does your inner child need, and can we give them that? Whether that's kindness, whether that's compassion, whether that's rest, whether that's safety in some way that maybe isn't so obvious. And it sucks that not everyone can have that, but that's why if we can give that to ourselves in some way, that's at least a little bit of something to make life a little bit lighter. So yeah, I just hope everyone can kind of take that message with them and just remember to be kind to yourselves and to have self-compassion and to give yourself what you need from time to time, and to not be so hard on ourselves. Alright, so if you enjoyed watching this reaction, then leaving a like just lets me know that you want to see more things like this. And if you'd like to see more and, you know, stick around, then subscribe and let me know your thoughts on this episode. I think it was, to be honest, this might be one of my favorites. I know nothing major happened, but I love relationships and interactions between the people that are like the big focuses. I know I'll probably end up talking more about the second half of the episode as well, but yeah, I just love seeing all of the different relations and, you know, free and remembering Himmel and all that kind of stuff. So I'll probably get more into that too. And if you'd like to hang out more, you know, you can find me on Twitch, Discord, the gaming YouTube channel. Eventually I'm going to be reworking things and I'll have more to do on Discord, and I'm going to probably post more videos on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. It's just for things that I actually want to do. I want to kind of review things like different foods I'm trying or different products, because that stuff is of interest to me, and I look up videos all the time, and when people make those videos, I'm like, thank you so much. So if I can do that for people too, that'd be great. So feel free to check those out when they come out. So as always, thank you for sharing a little bit of your day with me, and I hope the rest of your day is a good one too. So take care, and I'll see you around. Bye.